Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And we're here at our favorite acute healthcare facility, and that is, of course, Hoboken University Medical Center, located at 308 Willow Avenue. We love this place. We love CarePoint, Christ Hospital, that is, in Jersey City, and we love Bayonne Medical Center in Bayonne as well. And the person to my right is making his Pulse premiere, and we're very, very excited about this, and that is the gastroenterologist here at HUMC, Dr. Debesai. Great having you on the show, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Exactly. You know, our resident political analyst has a lot of stomach issues, so you're like the perfect person to have on here. That's because he just eats like crap.
We'll talk after.
Exactly. Exactly. So tell me about your background and how long you've been here at the CarePoint facilities.
So I'm an original American. I came to this country at the age of 5. Was on the West Coast, Seattle, Washington in particular. And then my studies, obtaining my master's, medical school, clinical internships brought me to the East Coast in Brooklyn in particular. I did my internal medicine residency at Brooklyn Hospital, at Coney Island Hospital, now known as South Brooklyn, and also did my fellowship there. I've been at CarePoint since October, so it's been about 28 days.
Wow. Okay.
So I am fresh.
A rookie.
I am fresh to the system, but my wife is a hospitalist actually here at Hoboken. She's been here for 6 years, so I know the area a bit.
You got to love the family affair here,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And what does a gastroenterologist actually do?
So it's a combination of a lot of things. We diagnose, treat, manage diseases of the upper gastrointestinal tract, the lower gastrointestinal tract, and also a couple organs such as the pancreas and liver. So you can also subspecialize and focus on different diseases such as IBD or specific symptoms such as the esophagus. So it's a culmination of a lot of things, but you know, we take care of a lot of organs and problems every day.
So what is the difference between somebody, and we joked about Josh Sotomayor or Einstein at the beginning of the segment, somebody just having, you know, stomach issues from eating or drinking bad, as compared to something a little more serious? What should a person look for symptom-wise that they should call you, just in case that there's an organ issue?
So it's going to take a couple things to kind of look out for. There isn't anything specific. What you have to kind of pay attention to is, are these symptoms not going away? Are you having signs such as, you know, weight loss that's there? Are you having things like unrelenting vomiting, nausea that's uncontrolled? Basically, there's a point to where your PCP will take care of you, but when these symptoms become unrelenting and you have other symptoms associated, that's when they'll send us, and you know, we'll take a look and take care of it.
Interesting. And what do you believe stands out the GI services here at the CarePoint health facilities, as I mentioned, the 3 hospitals at the beginning of the segment, compared to maybe other acute healthcare facilities? Why should people choose CarePoint over anybody else?
From the time that I've been here, from what I know about CarePoint, one of the things that is very beneficial to patients in general is that you have a 3-hospital system. So you are not only being taken care of, you know, here in Hoboken, which are capturing patients in Union City, patients here at Christ, or there at Christ, and also down at Bayonne. So you have a whole system that will take care of you, that's interconnected, and you know, will also attend to your needs. On top of that, private physicians are allowed to, you know, admit and take care of the patients there. So you have the continuity for, you know, patients, for their GI doctor to take care of them, be present, and even at the same time, if they chose, they can switch different GI docs. So you have choice, you have access to different facilities, and then, you know, you have the best care I think Hudson County can give.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Debesai, thank you. Congratulations on your new gig.
Thank you so much. Thank
Absolutely. I love that it's kind of like a family affair here. That's what you get at the CarePoint facilities, folks. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, folks, more from Hoboken University Medical Center with the pediatrician, Dr. Prasad. You are not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned. All right, as promised, we're here with Dr. Prasad, who is the pediatrician at the CarePoint health facilities. Again, those are Hoboken University Medical Center, Christ Hospital in Jersey City, and of course, Bayonne Medical Center. Dr. Prasad, so great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So talk to me about your background and how long you've been with the CarePoint team here.
Right, so I'm a general pediatrician, as you mentioned. Grew up in Wisconsin, went to medical school in Boston, and then I lived on the West Coast doing residency in Los Angeles. And I've been with CarePoint for about 2 months now.
2 months. Wow. The guest before us, the gastroenterologist, has only been here a month.
Yeah.
So I said we have the rookies here, but we
It's
certainly
experienced. Yeah.
exactly. Rookies for the CarePoint facilities, that is. But So talk to me. Why do you think that people in this area should utilize the CarePoint facilities, whether in Bayonne, Hoboken, and Jersey City, to give birth to their newborns?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it's really about being part of a community. You're going to live, play, work here, and it's, I feel like it's important to have your primary care here too. For me, I really get to know everyone in the community, the healthcare landscape, and the people that live here, and it makes me really feel part of the city at large. And I hope to kind of be part of your family as well.
Oh, that's great. Listen, I mean, once I find a woman enough crazy enough to marry me and we have a child, I would be welcoming you and my family with open arms.
Perfect.
Absolutely. But why did you choose Hoboken specifically? I know you were up in Wisconsin.
Right.
It looks like you have some experience elsewhere. So why come to Hoboken?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's got the best of all of the region has to offer. It's a diverse, kind of lively community. It feels very urban, but at the same time, it feels very close-knit too. So, when you're moving to the city, there's a lot of different options, but they can feel kind of, distant or big, and Hoboken kind of feels big but small.
Nice.
And so, I think it's the kind of place I'd like to practice. I'd like to be part of the community, and, it just kind of lends itself to that.
That is fantastic. And in terms of the services that the CarePoint Pediatrics Department provides, and what ages they cover.
Right. Yeah, we kind of cover everyone from birth to kids visiting back from college.
Wow.
So, I've seen anything from kind of seconds old to, someone that just can't give up their pediatrician and, comes back from wherever over summer and just needs a well visit. So, we see up to 24 years, but generally it's, kind of birth to 18 years.
Birth to 18 years. Why wouldn't you want to come here then, right? I mean, having the same doctor for 18 years. When you're an adult, that usually never happens.
Yeah, I know.
Doctors retire and move on and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
What do you think, in terms of CarePoint, the CarePoint Pediatrics unit, what do you think distinguishes it compared to other acute healthcare facilities in the area or other just regular offices that people see on Washington Street?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. We're big but small, right? So, the amount of services that can be offered at this healthcare system is great, right? We can offer anything from, delivery services to, more acute care and inpatient care as well. So, that kind of breadth is really great. At the same time, there's not a tremendous volume here, so we can really kind of be personal with everyone. So, we really get to know you in either setting, right? It's either in the outpatient, we get to be part of your family, right? We see a kid grow, and it's really special. And in the inpatient side, if you are admitted, then we can spend a lot more time with you. Generally, the patient load isn't too big here, so we get to kind of be there with you during your hospital stay.
Well, that is fantastic. Congratulations on your new gig here.
Thanks.
Folks, come and see Dr. Prasad here at the CarePoint facilities. Really, really appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Sir.
Yeah,
absolutely.
appreciate it.
All right, folks, from Hoboken University Medical Center, located at 308 Willow Avenue in Hoboken, we will be right back. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching the Pulse with Peter B and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com.
Welcome back. I'm your host with the most, Josh Sotomayor Einstein, and I'm so glad that you out there in TV land have stuck with us, that all the nonsense Peter Biancamano was spouting didn't scare you away, all of his BS. And I'm so glad also because we're here with someone that doesn't do BS. 4th Ward Hoboken Councilman Ramos has joined us today. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Josh. Really appreciate it.
So as everybody out there on the internet and in TV land knows, you don't have any competition in the upcoming race this November. So, I mean, that must feel really, really good.
It does feel really good. This is my 14th time on the ballot.
Wow.
So I've been through a lot of competitive races, lots of head knocking races. So it feels good to actually have a little bit of a breather this time around. But we're still out there working, trying to get as many voters as possible. I want to earn individuals' voters right now.
Well, I mean, that must feel really, really good and a testament. It is a testament to how the people in your ward, your voters, your constituents feel about all the good work that you've done over the years. And also, fun fact, you said 14 terms, 14 times you've been on the ballot. That's actually higher than Peter Biancamano can count. So, fun facts, everybody out there. So, and also everybody,
always trying to help the show.
Yeah, everybody knows from watching the debate that we did, that Tap Into what was nice enough to live stream. That a fun fact about you is that you don't stop talking.
No, I like to talk, especially if I know what I'm talking about. I'm very passionate. I'm very passionate about Hoboken. Very talking about. I could talk about this all day. Our city, where we've been, where we want to go to. So this is what I like to do.
Well, listen, we do appreciate you very much. So tell us, what do you want to do going into, another term?
I think my priority when I first ran for office in 1999 was trying to help the residents of the Housing Authority. And we had a couple of start and stops. When E. Troy Washington was our first director that we had there when I was elected. And we had a plan to redevelop the Housing Authority then, and he just disappeared on us. And then you have an interim Housing Authority director. Then Carmelo Garcia becomes a director there in play, and he has his Vision 2020 plan. And again, that met with animosity throughout the community, it seems, but the Housing Authority residents were in favor of that plan. But unfortunately, again, that didn't get off the ground too much. So here we are, our third bite at the apple right now. So that's really something that I like to see through fruition. We're really, our next council meeting, we're going to vote to adopt the redevelopment plan finally for the Housing Authority, and then they'll go out to bid and then hopefully get financing for it. And that's really going to change so many lives for Housing Authority residents and the surrounding neighborhood as well. So we've really worked really hard the past 4 to 5 years to get everyone's buy-in, the residents' buy-in, the surrounding neighborhood buy-in, where we've had nothing but positive feedback. And we had some negative feedback, we were able to address those concerns in a positive way. So we feel really good about it.
So I have some friends in Columbus Gardens, and they feel that, not all of them, but they feel that the redevelopment plan is some sort of subterfuge to try to push out people that live in the projects. Well, what would you say to that?
Well, this is the exact opposite of that, and I think. And for a lot of residents that had those fears, you look at what Holland Gardens is doing. They're just giving everyone vouchers. They're moving out. And then you have the option maybe to come back. You used to look what they did in Baltimore and Chicago and other parts of the country. We were doing the exact opposite. We're making sure that every single Hoboken resident does not have to leave the city of Hoboken. And that's why our plan is going to take a little bit longer. We're doing build first, move people in, then demolition, build the next unit, move people in, then demolition. So no one is going to have to leave the city of Hoboken while that project's under construction.
Oh, terrific!
But it's going to take us a little bit longer, unfortunately.
Well,
to do that.
what time frame are we looking at here?
We're looking at total completion. The entire thing is like 10 to 12 years, maybe 12 to 14. You know how those types of things go. So we're looking at 12 to 14 years for the entire thing to get built. But we're hoping, everything goes to plan. First shovel in the ground within 2 to 3 years.
Okay, all right, that doesn't sound too
For
bad.
the first building.
And I'll definitely tell my friends in Columbus Gardens to reach out to you if they have any other questions.
If anyone has questions, we want to lay any concerns that people may have. We want to keep everyone in Hoboken.
I know you've been very accessible to the people, and we'll put up some sort of contact information on the screen, maybe an email address or a website.
People use my cell number. Text me, email me. I'm accessible 24/7. When I'm up, I'll respond as best I can and as fast as I can.
That sounds like a plan. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Hudson River Care and Counseling. Hello, I'm Dr. Pam Pater-Ennis, the CEO and founder of Hudson River Care and Counseling with over 30 years of clinical social work experience in therapy. We are a progressive counseling and coaching practice with a diverse team that brings a holistic approach to clients. We offer support both in person and through digital platforms such as telehealth. Consider us a safe haven that you can trust with care for your mental health needs. Visit our website to set up a consultation today.
Welcome back out there in TV land and on the internets. Before you left, we were talking about the project redevelopment plan and how it's not going to kick anybody out of town. What other things are going on in the Fourth Ward?
Well, I think the Chambord redevelopment project, which is currently under construction, is really exciting. They're hoping mid to late November or early December to have a contract in place, a lease in place with the grocery store. So we're really excited about that for Southwest Hoboken to have its own supermarket that can service like downtown Jersey City a little bit. And when I first started running for office, everyone used to say the forgotten fourth. Well, so many people have found the Fourth Ward. So that's like one of the things that my 20 plus years in public service that I'm really proud of, that our neighborhood's growing to where next week we're having a Southwest Halloween event. Again, I think it's the 5th year doing that right now. So our neighborhood's growing. It's so exciting to see that. And then Hoboken Business Center is also having their project, hopefully get off the ground, which will have a medical component to that, parking component to that as well. So we're really excited about a lot of things happening in our neighborhood.
That sounds really, really cool. I can't help, though, when you brought up the Chambord place, and I know it's great that there'll be a supermarket, another supermarket in town,
And
that's
some
closer
restaurants.
to people's houses and the whole shebang. But I mean, I just can't help but thinking of that fire, and of the 2 explosions that happened.
Yeah.
And it just, I know the ATF ruled that it wasn't an explosion. Or that it wasn't malicious. It was an explosion, but that it wasn't arson that caused it. But it just, everybody in town basically thinks that it was.
Yeah, well,
Luckily,
I'm not a professional in that field.
And I'm not saying it is because I don't want to get sued.
But
all right?
the professionals were there,
Yeah.
and that's
It just was suspicious. That's all. I'm not casting aspersions. on
waking up in
anybody.
the morning suspicious.
You know,
So we can class a lot of
thank God we
aspersions,
wake
but
up in the
hopefully,
morning, right?
rest in peace those 2 individuals that lost
Yes,
their lives
very, very
tragically in
sad.
that event.
Very sad.
But
And I think about all the small businesses that were there. I knew
a lot
some
of
people
small
that had
business, but I think again it was another opportunity for Hoboken residents to come together and rally around those individuals. That we have the Hoboken CrossFit locations there. They're in another location, hopefully to get a finding zoning approval. I know they lost some membership with their square footage reduction, but we were able to preserve some businesses throughout Hoboken. But we wish we could have preserved more. And obviously, it was the ultimate tragedy of losing 2 lives in that event.
I know, it was very horrible. Now, everybody out there across town knows that you were at the debate that we did with Tap Into, and they also know that you have no opposition. So, other than yourself, who are the top 2 people that you think came out of the debates that we did, in the past? Other than yourself. You can't put yourself as one of them. The question isn't who talked the most. The question is who did the best.
Or the best, right? But selfishly, I only watched my share of the debate, unfortunately, right? So I didn't watch the second one. But I think Councilwoman Fisher, she's always very impressive. And I think the reason why she's so impressive is the attention to detail that she gives to everything is just like really something that I like admire in my 25 years of service. And she goes like, if there's a period, there's a comma, any contract that she really delves into, the nuts and crannies of a lot of things. And I also think like Councilman Provenzano also did a good job that night. As well, answering questions. I think not just answering questions with empathy, answering questions with facts as well, and then a plan to move things forward. So I thought of the night. Besides myself, I thought they both did a good job answering questions that night.
See, for me, I thought the first word was particularly interesting because it's that 3-way race, and I'm not saying that anybody else did poorly. But I definitely think that Rafi impressed me a little bit.
I thought he was good as well.
You got to give it up to every challenger out there because to go against somebody that's an incumbent takes a lot of cojones. I don't know if I can say that on air.
I think just in general, like I said, I think I started a segment off. This is my 14th, maybe 15th time with my name on the ballot, and every single time it's nerve-wracking. You put yourself out there. You're putting your family out there. You're away for dinner time. You're missing a whole lot goes into this. The effort that it takes to go into it, and you're out there and you're hoping that people like you, and so I credit anyone that puts their name on the ballot, whether I'm supportive of you, I'm not supportive of you. It takes a lot of courage to do this, and then it takes a lot of courage, obviously, to serve every day. And people get upset with you, people get happy with you, But you got to keep your nose to the ground and keep on grinding and do the best you can for your community.
Well, that was terrific. Councilman, thank you so much for coming on.
Got it.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Files Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse with Peter B. Peter Biancamano back in the host chair and here at the historic A.J. Demarest Middle School located at 158 4th Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And we have the honor, this was her second time on the show, but it's always an honor to have the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Christine Johnson. Dr. Johnson, it is so great to see you again.
Thank you, Peter. It's nice to see you too.
Exactly. And we're happy to announce here on The Pulse that we are going to be featuring all the wonderful things that you're doing in the Hoboken Public Schools on a monthly basis for the foreseeable future. So we're very, very excited for that.
We're excited too.
Absolutely. So we do want to talk about a program, a nationally recognized program, which is called Classroom Without Walls.
Correct.
I absolutely love the name. Apparently, when I was on the Board of Ed, it was initiated under your watch. So talk to me about what it is.
So Classroom Without Walls is an international travel program that began in 2016 school year. Which provides our high school students with an opportunity to learn outside of the classroom in a very non-traditional way and in an experiential way while they travel across the world, really, across the globe.
So it's 2016, so we're in the, if my math's short, the 7th year of this program.
Correct.
Now. Can you give me some of the places where high school students have traveled?
Absolutely. So our students have traveled to Italy, they've traveled to Spain, they've traveled to France, they did a biomedical sciences trip to Japan. Just recently, they took an environmental science trip to the Galapagos Islands. They have also been to Peru, and they have been to Greece as well.
That is absolutely terrific. And this is with no money out of pocket for the students, correct? Or do they have to pay for?
So what we do is we land on the trip. And we decide where we would like to go. So we have a few future trips laid out already. Trips to South Africa, Iceland, Ireland, and Scotland as well. So those are some of the upcoming trips that we have planned. But basically what we do is we announce the trip very early. And the advisors of the program, we have 2 teachers at Hoboken High School, Ilya Cruz and Heidi De La Rosa. Heidi De La Rosa has been doing this from the start of the program. She connects with EF Tours. It's a educational touring company that works with us, and they decide with input from students where the trip is going to be. And they usually give about a year's notice for the trip. And then what happens is they set up everything from fundraising opportunities to scholarship opportunities, also to angel sponsor opportunities. So we make sure that no student ever stays home because of economic reasons.
That is phenomenal. And I'm just wondering, what are some of the reactions that you're getting from students, that you hear from your directors, obviously, when they come back from these trips?
Yeah, so it's not just the directors. We actually have a system after the trips where the students have to continue the learning process when they return, meaning that they will get together for a few months after the trip and do things like plan a luncheon or a dinner together to kind of prolong the new friendships that they've gained on the trip. We always are invited, myself and other administrators in the district, so we can hear about the trips. But interestingly, the 2 advisors always set up a time for the kids to come to my office and tell me all about their experiences. So Probably the two best examples of this like expansive sharing that the kids have done with me was when they got back from Japan. And when they got back from the Galapagos Islands. And I think the best thing that I heard when they got back from Japan was that they toured different medical centers and hospitals because it was a trip that was tied to our biomedical sciences program at the high school. And not only did they tell me all about the places that they visited, but a lot of the kids on the trip had never been on a plane before. They had never been on a boat before. So, and they had never, there were things that they saw, beautiful gardens and just experiences that they did not have before. So listening to them and really allowing them to kind of share how their life changed as a result of the trip makes it all worthwhile.
Absolutely. And you said it was open to high school students and middle school students, correct?
So when we first started in the spring of 2016, all of the trips were dedicated solely to high school students.
Understood.
After 7 years, we decided we really need to expose middle school students to this concept of learning outside of the traditional classroom. And so I spoke with Mr. Sorafine last year and I said, what do you think about hosting a Classroom Without Walls middle school program? And if you're interested in it, let's find the right staff member and let me speak to the Hoboken Public Education Foundation and see if they would be willing to sponsor getting the program off the ground. Because, you know, sometimes people think that when kids travel on a high school trip, it's just about advertising the trip and going.
Right.
But there's a lot that goes into it ahead of time. The teachers meet with the students, they learn about the destination, they explore geography, they explore the history and the culture of where they're visiting. And then they continue that learning while they're on the trip and then after. So we said, and then there's also an element of talking to students and teaching them about the etiquette of travel. And so we said, maybe it would be a great idea to expose middle school students to the concept of travel, not on an international level, but on a more local, statewide, tri-state area scope, and really get them ready for the next step.
That is fabulous. Well, and we are going to be meeting with the director
Yes,
here at the middle
absolutely.
school in a quick second, but we want to thank you for your time.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Christine Johnson, obviously the superintendent of schools. And I've said this here in Hoboken, and I've said this multiple times, so I'm going to say it again. The hardest working public sector employee in the city is sitting right next to me.
Thank
and
you,
we
Peter.
really appreciate
Thank
all your
you.
hard work. We
I
really
appreciate
do.
that.
And we'll see you next month.
Okay, sounds good.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Folks, stay tuned. All right, as promised, we're here with Eberhardt, who is the coordinator of Classrooms Without Walls here at A.J. Demarest Middle School.
Yes.
And of course, a social studies teacher. One of my favorite subjects, you know that?
Excellent, excellent. I love social studies too.
Exactly. Talk to me, how are you today?
I am doing fantastic, and thank you so much for taking the time out to come here and see us today.
The pleasure's all mine.
Absolutely.
Of course, we had Dr. Johnson, on a few seconds ago, and that's always fun, as we like to say. But she mentioned that the program, Classroom Without Walls, is brand new here at the middle school. Talk to me about the initiation, because this is the first year, correct?
Yes, this is the first year, and I am super excited to be running this program. We already have about 50 kids who've signed up for it. The anticipation is there. The kids want to see things outside of the classroom. We have 4 amazing trips in the works now. We plan on doing a couple of trips to New York, to the United Nations, and a Harlem tour, a Harlem Renaissance tour to the Schomburg. We also plan on going to Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia. In addition, in addition
Take
to
over.
the local trips around Hoboken.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I mean, look, you know, this is what Classroom Without Walls is.
Absolutely.
You're leaving the classroom. It could be across the street, or it could be, as Dr. Johnson mentioned, Tokyo before, correct?
Absolutely.
Talk to me about the local trips. Where are you guys going?
The local trips, well, thank you to the HPEF, the Hoboken Public Education Fund, their gracious donation of $10,000 to get this program off the road. We're going to do all the local Hoboken things, the firehouse, the museums, the pier. We're trying to get to Stevens, the parks, and the library, which has a new floor renovated.
Yes, that's right.
It looked amazing. We can't wait to get over there as well. So it's so much amazing stuff to see in Hoboken.
So it seems like the first year of the program here at the middle school, you're going a little locally. I mean, are there plans to go a little further, a couple more miles away from these schools?
Absolutely. So this year, the first trip is to the United Nations. The second trip will probably be up to Harlem. The third trip will be Philadelphia, and the fourth trip would be Washington, D.C. We're trying to get to the Capitol.
Oh, you should.
That's the plan, to get to the Capitol and visit some of the Smithsonian museums as well.
I tell you, Congress needs as much education as possible these days. But anyway, sidebar. What can students expect from these trips? If I'm a student in middle school, which I wish I was, but you know, I grew up. What can I expect from all of these fabulous trips that are coming up?
You can expect to have, first of all, a lot of fun, and to learn a lot about these great places that are, surrounding us and our capital.
Right.
You're going to just learn a lot, and you're going to have a lot of fun doing it. And that's, to me, the goal of Classroom Without Walls. Listen, I think I teach a really fun social studies class, but there's nothing like being out of the classroom and going somewhere.
Amen.
And I love taking field trips, so I am super excited. And I just want to thank Hoboken and, of course, our amazing superintendent, Dr. Johnson, for giving me this opportunity to run the program and to be in Hoboken.
Well, on that note, Ani Eberhardt, who is the coordinator here of Classrooms Without Walls, and more importantly, as equal important, a social studies teacher. Thank you for your time, and thank you for all your hard work for the district students. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, but I also would like to say thank you to our principal, Mr. Sorfine, who is pretty amazing, and I will go on record and say the hardest working principal I've ever worked under.
And I can vouch for that. I can vouch for that because he was moving plywood before in a suit that cost way more than my wardrobe, it looks like. Let me tell you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So without him, he's a big part of this as well. So super instrumental in helping me facilitate the program. So
well, much appreciation to you, to Dr. Johnson, of course, Mr. Sorfan. Thank you again. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. All right, folks, join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. I hope you have a great week, everybody.